How's your hand? You weren't kidding when you said you had a blistering serve.
Yeah, let's face it, I'm not about to give up my medical practice and go out on the pro tour.
Hey, you know, I thought we were a cinch to win that doubles match. We got off to such a good start.
I know.
But boy, we faded fast.
It's my fault, my fault. By the time we got to the second set, I felt like I was running around with lead weights on my ankles.
Well, I keep telling you, you should get out from behind that desk and get some exercise.
I know, and I ought to follow the advice I give my patients. Don't overdo it on the first day. I'm gonna have to soak in a hot tub tonight, or I'm gonna wake up tomorrow stiff and sore.
Oh, I feel pretty good. My job keeps me running around.
But you're in pretty good shape. As a matter of fact, you're in very good shape.
This has been such a nice day.
Has been fun, hasn't it?
Yeah. You know what?
What?
I think we make a pretty good team. And I don't just mean on the court.
Well, I'm not surprised. After all, love is an important part of tennis, isn't it?
You glad we came here?
I'm having a terrific time.
Glad you're enjoying yourself.
I am. After all, tennis is my favorite outdoor sport.
There, is that getting those nuts out?
I just feel the tension melting away.
If this is the way you react, we're gonna have to spend weekends away more often.
Yeah, we both work too hard. You know that, don't you?
It's been a long time since I've seen you this relaxed.
Are you saying I'm usually a grouch?
No, of course not. But you know, when we're home, patients call at all hours, and I think getting away from all that has taken a big weight off your shoulders. In fact, I can feel that it has.
Yeah, it's nice not to have to worry about anything except getting my second serve in.
It's so nice to see you in a carefree mood.
Well, listen, I'm here with my beautiful wife in a plush hotel where they're gonna cater to my every whim for the next 2 days. Who wouldn't be happy?
Well, I'm happy wherever I am, as long as I'm with you.
I don't have a care in the world now. I don't have a bad thought about anybody. I bet I could even get along well with Raven at the moment.
Oh, my, you are in a charitable mood. You ran into Raven and Logan in the lobby. You were less than Mr. Sociability.
Oh, really? Was it that obvious? Well, what can I tell you? Not one of my favorite people.
I think you're being unfair. And anyway, Logan is a friend of ours. I'd kind of hate for him to think that we were avoiding him all weekend.
Well, I get along fine with Logan. I suppose I could put up with his wife for a few hours. Why? What do you want to do? Invite him to dinner or something?
I think that would be a nice idea.
All right. I'll just get right up. I'll call the desk, find out what the room is. What time? About 7:30?
7:30 is just fine with me. Whoops. I'll get it.
Doesn't seem fair.
Logan, hi.
Hello.
Come on in.
Hi. How was your tennis?
Oh, we had a really good time.
How was it on the golf course?
Oh, great. Terrific. Well, I had a little run-in with the greenskeeper. He was weeping when I left him, but I told him those divots will grow back.
I hope you're exaggerating.
I lost all my golf balls. Also, I can't find my wife. I thought Raven might be in here visiting with you folks.
Oh, well, we spent the whole afternoon on the tennis court, so just a little while ago we haven't seen her.
Yeah, well, guess she's wandering around the shopping arcade then. A vacation to Raven has always meant a day in a store she's never been in before.
So what are you two doing for dinner?
Nothing special. I hear the restaurant down here in the hotel's real good.
Would you like to make it a foursome?
Be great. I'm sure Raven would love it.
Great. Well, then, if you'll just excuse me, I have to take a shower if I'm going to be ready in time. I'll see you later. Oh, and ask Raven if 7:30's okay.
If I can find her, I'll ask her.
Well, listen, before you start your search, why don't you just come in for a second and have a drink out in the patio?
Thank you. Don't mind if I do. I could use that. Don't want to disturb Raven too early in her shopping spree. Anyway, she'd be very upset about that. Just very upset.
Listen, it's probably your last chance to relax before the election, huh?
Hopefully.
When's the campaign get into full swing?
Well, the party leaders get together next week and choose a slate.
Well, you're gonna run for another term, aren't you?
As far as I'm concerned, I am, but Afraid that nomination is still up for grabs. I wouldn't be too surprised if my name was not on the ballot next year.
Well, why? You've done a good job.
Except for one indiscretion, that deal I made with Wade Meacham.
Trying to get Winter's film, keep it from being shown.
Yeah.
Now, listen, you know, you probably could have gotten out of that ever coming to light.
No, it had to come out. It had to.
Well, I'm sure the public has forgotten all about it.
The party may not want to take that chance.
Well, then you're gonna have to do what any politician does to get a vote. You're gonna have to start campaigning, I guess.
Yeah. See if anybody on that nominating committee has a baby I can kiss.
Well, they got hands to shake, right? You gotta shake some hands and take your family along. Who can resist a handsome politician with a beautiful baby and a loving wife?
Hey, isn't it about time we put Jamie to bed? Hey, come here.
But he's still wide awake.
Yeah, but I thought we agreed that he wasn't going to be invited to this party
Oh,
tonight.
don't worry, I'll tuck him in a little while.
When do you plan on doing that? We don't have much time. They're going to be here any second.
Oh, my goodness, I didn't realize. Let me get the cheese and the ice. Where'd the day go?
It's been a three-ring circus around here. First of all, we get up early to rearrange furniture. What are you doing? Then Logan drops off the baby, and you spend all day playing with him and preparing dinner, and I end up moving all the furniture to make the place look presentable.
Well, now, don't we just sound like a typical suburban family with absolutely nothing better to do but to lounge around all day in our lovely house?
I still think just getting the house in shape would have been more than enough to keep us busy. Oh, yeah.
Well, I told you, Draper, I couldn't exactly say no to Raven when she asked us to take care of Jamie. It really sounded important to her to get away with Logan for a couple of days.
And, well, having Mike and Nancy over was a big mistake.
I don't
We
know.
should have waited till next weekend.
It's been a long time since we have had a strictly social evening with Mike and Nancy.
Hey, don't give me that. Only reason you want them over here is so you can show off the place.
Well, I don't know. That's not the only reason. You know what a keen decorator's eye Nancy has. I thought maybe she could give us a few hints before absolutely everything was nailed down.
Hey, now, come on, you had Nicole over here. Why didn't you have Nancy over?
Oh, well, I guess I just never got around to it.
April, is that the only reason they're coming over tonight? To talk about, drapes and the sofa?
I don't know.
You're not planning on introducing Mr. Seward's job offer into the conversation, are you?
Oh, well, I guess I just thought it would come up naturally.
That's the reason they're coming over tonight, isn't it? Before Seward made that offer, you had no intention of having anybody over this soon.
Draper, it's a very important decision that you have to make, and it does involve Mike, since it would mean leaving his firm.
You mean you want them to talk me out of it?
No, what I mean is I'm hoping someone can give you an objective opinion of what you'd be giving up.
April, Mike doesn't know about the job offer.
What?
I never told him.
Draper, Mike is your partner. He has a right to know.
I know. I was going to tell him.
Draper, are you afraid of what Mike might say?
Look, April, this is neither the time nor the place to discuss this. They're here. Now, please, not a word of this tonight. Just in time. Come on in. And we come right back in here into the living room. The tour is over.
Oh, this is one of the most charming houses I've ever seen.
It's everything you said it was, Draper.
Oh, we wish you all the happiness.
Thank you, Nancy. Why don't you sit down?
Okay. April, you've been very quiet since we arrived.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I just didn't have too much to say.
Really? Well, it's the first time I've ever seen you at a loss for words when it comes to talking about your new house.
Well, it's been a very hectic week. She probably feels let down.
As a matter of fact, that's exactly how I do feel. Let down.
Look, how about some drinks? I made a whole pitcher of daiquiris.
Sounds good.
April, is there something wrong?
As a matter of fact, there is something wrong.
April, please. Please don't start.
Have we walked into the middle of a domestic crisis?
You find this hard to believe, Mike, but you are right in the middle of it.
April, please.
Come on, Draper. Would you just please tell them?
Mike, I received a job offer
What? From whom?
from that Philip Seward. You know, the man who came over to see you that day?
Oh, Seward, Paxton and Whiteside, the man who offered you the job.
Oh, well, they offered Mike a senior partnership. His name right up there on the door and all the money in the world.
Oh, my, you never made it sound quite that grand.
Well, I wouldn't have taken the job even if a yacht and a mansion came with it.
There, you see, Draper?
Draper, when did he make this offer?
Well, the same day he talked to you, he gave me a call, asked me to go out for a drink. He said that he realized he had no hope of getting you to relocate. So he thought of another way of building up the criminal law department. He suggested hiring somebody with less experience who would be willing to take a junior partnership and with the promise of a senior partnership in the future.
Wow, that's quite a proposition. And you know the reputation of that firm.
Oh, come on, Mike, the heck with the reputation. I mean, Carr and Scott is just as good as they are. Don't you think so, Nancy?
Yeah, but then I'm prejudiced.
Mike, you know as well as I do that this is the job offer of a lifetime.
What did you say to Mr. Seward?
Well, I told him I would think it over. You'd get back to him. It's a big move. You know, April's not too excited about it.
But Draper, if Mike turned down the offer in order to stay in Monticello, it couldn't have been that good after all.
Oh, no, wait a minute, April. In all fairness to Mr. Seward, the package he presented to me was most attractive. And it's one of the most prestigious law firms in the country.
Well, then why did you turn them down?
Well, I was honored that Seward would even put out a feeler to me. But our situation in Monticello makes it impractical for us to leave.
Well, Mike has spent so many years cultivating the clients that he represents.
April, I've lived and worked in Monticello for the better part of my life. My roots here are much too deep for us to just pick up and start all over again in New York.
Well, Mike, Draper and I are just starting to lay down our roots. Now, I mean, we haven't even been in our first home a month, and Draper's already thinking about moving.
Oh, it would be a shame to leave such a sweet place.
It would be, but with the real estate market so active, I'll bet they could sell this house today and still make a profit.
Mike, we didn't buy this house as a financial investment. We bought it as an investment in our future.
April, that's what this job is. Now, believe me, we're not going to have any trouble at all finding a house just like this back east.
Yeah, but it won't be this house.
April, with an attitude like that, I could move us into the Taj Mahal and you're not going to be happy.
Fact is, I'm very happy right here.
New York City is a very, very exciting city. I mean, you've never even been there.
You know, I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm going to. I don't think you should lose sight of how costly it is to live in New York. It would take a great deal of money to live there the way you live here.
No, wait a second, Nancy. The money Mr. Seward was talking about, I mean, with all that, we could afford to live in an East Side penthouse overlooking the park.
Draper, I have no desire to move into a city where I don't know a soul.
April, we could make new friends. No, we're not the first couple to relocate for an upward career move.
Oh, I just think it's totally unnecessary.
Yeah, well, I owe it to myself to take this job offer very seriously.
Draper, come on. It's ridiculous. Like, Nancy, I mean, please tell Draper that you do agree with me. Well, it is obvious to me that I am a majority of one.
Oh, April, we can't take sides.
Well, there's one thing that Draper refuses to acknowledge as a consideration. That is something very important to me.
What's that, April?
Well, we've spent hours discussing what this move would mean for Draper's career, but we haven't really discussed what it would mean for mine.
Now, wait a minute. You haven't exactly spent years training to become an office assistant at WMON.
Draper, I know that right now my job at the station is at a entry-level position, but it's giving me an opportunity to learn the broadcasting business, and I know in time I'd move right up the ladder.
You can apply for another job at a station in New York.
Draper, you know I don't have enough experience to get a job at another station, let alone in a city the size of New York.
Well, Margot has contacts everywhere. I'm sure she would be more than glad to make a couple of phone calls for you.
Nancy, what would you do if Mike asked you to give up your career in order to further his own?
Well, until recently, I hadn't really given it any thought. There hadn't been any reason.
The situation isn't exactly comparable, April. Nancy's been a reporter for a long time. Now, with her experience, she could probably get a job in any newspaper in the country.
And one of the reasons you felt that you had to take this job was to supplement my income. Now, with all the money I've been offered in New York, you won't have to work.
I know that, Draper. But I want to work.
April, your job means a lot to you, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, Nancy. I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed working.
Yeah, you enjoy it so much, you spend more time at the studio than you do here at home.
Oh, and that's something that you haven't appreciated very much. Draper, is that one of the reasons that you want to move to New York and to force me to stay home more?
April, you're the one that couldn't wait to buy this home. Now you never spend any time here.
Oh, I see. I see. Well, I've got the perfect solution. If Draper feels that he's got to be where his work is, and if that's New York, well, this is where my home is and my job. We can write letters a couple of times a week, maybe see each other every once in a while.
That's not even funny, April.
Draper, when does Mr. Seward expect an answer?
Couple of days. I said take my time, think it over, and get back to him.
Well, I don't think we could give you any better advice than that.
This is probably going to be one of the most important choices you'll ever have to make. Now, if the two of you are going to arrive at a decision that you both can live with, you're going to have to sit down and weigh the pluses and minuses very carefully.
Yeah, right now we seem to be at the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Well, compromise can be part of it.
You should try to be as objective as possible about every issue involved.
But, Mike, don't you believe that if Draper left, he'd be making a terrible mistake?
April, that's not for me to judge.
But you and Draper work so well together.
We do, and I'm proud to be associated with him because he's a fine attorney.
And Carr and Scott is one of the most respected law firms in Monticello. Draper has a terrific future for himself right here. I mean, don't you think it'd be foolish for him to leave?
Perhaps, but I can understand the lure of being associated with a firm like Seward, Paxton, and Whiteside.
Mike, I just can't believe that you'd want Draper to go. I mean, I really believe that if you tell Draper how much you want him to stay, he will.
April, that's enough. Mike and Nancy are here as our guests, not to have you use them against me.
Okay, so that's a reservation for 4, 7:30 in the Fox Hunt Lounge. Yeah, Kavanaugh. Thank you. All set.
All set except for one thing. I have to tell Raven, which means I gotta find her.
She's probably back in the room by now.
It's funny. She wanted to come up here for togetherness. We checked in, changed clothes, haven't been together since. Oh. It was probably my fault.
You have all tonight, you have all day tomorrow.
I was really looking forward to getting up here. It's just a shame we couldn't have brought Jamie.
Yeah, I kind of miss Adam myself.
You know how it is. You work all during the week. You don't get a chance to see him. The weekend comes. Would have been nice to have a family weekend.
Well, why didn't you do that?
Raven wanted to come here. They don't allow kids. Leaving him behind didn't seem to bother her.
Well, you know what? She's probably, maybe she's a little jealous of all the affection you shower upon him. Maybe she wanted you to come up here so she could have you all to herself.
I think that she's having trouble adjusting to being a mother.
Logan, you're still here.
Yeah, I'm getting out now, though. I'll give you a chance to get dressed.
Oh, wait a minute. Before you go, would you two have any objection if we changed that dinner reservation to 5?
5, who are you thinking of inviting?
Elliot? Well, it seems kind of rude to exclude him from our dinner party.
Well, no one really knows him that well. Don't you think he might feel awkward?
Well, I think we should at least ask. I mean, he's always very nice to us when we go to the Unicorn.
Yeah, he's been very hospitable to Raven and me when we've been there.
And, if it weren't for Margot's generosity, we wouldn't be here in the first place.
This is true.
He probably spent the whole day by himself. I bet he could use some company.
Well, it would be a nice way to repay Margot for her kindness, okay.
Have any objections?
It's fine with me. I'm sure Raven wouldn't mind.
It's all set?
All set.
Good.
I'll see you at 7:30, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, what must be done must be done. Well, why did you call him and invite him, huh?
You know, telephone invitations seem a little bit impersonal to me.
Well, if we mail him the invitation, I don't think he'll get it in time.
Hey, you can get your shoes on a lot faster than I can get dressed. Now, you sit down and put them on and get out there and deliver that invitation in person.
This has been the most wonderful afternoon of my entire life.
Well, it's something very special.
When can we meet again?
As soon as you can.
I think I have to spend some time with my husband.
Well, why don't you tell him to go out and practice his spar, or whatever they call that. And we can take the boat from the marina and meet somewhere for a very private picnic.
I'd like that.
You'd better go. They're gonna look for you. I can't wait to see you again. You better go.
Dr. Kavanagh.
I think we should better talk about this.
Won't you come in?
I can't wait to see you again. Right.
Dr. Kavanagh.
Well, I think we'd better talk about this. Why don't you come in, Doctor?
Well, I'm a lucky man.
Really? How do you figure that?
Well, it could have been Raven's husband coming down the hall. Or for that matter, your lovely wife. Women don't seem to understand these things the way we do.
Oh, I see. I'm supposed to understand. Is that it?
After all, a casual kiss in a doorway. Oh, yes, the maid service has been atrocious in this hotel.
Listen, Elliot, I just came here to offer you an invitation, which I don't think I'm going to make now, if you don't mind. Under the circumstances, it doesn't seem to be the right thing, so excuse me.
Oh, please don't be in such a hurry. You've diagnosed the situation admirably, Doctor. Supposing we talk about a remedy.
Listen, Elliot, this may come as a shock to you, but I don't give a damn about your amorous activities. I don't know you well enough to care, and I don't know Mrs. Swift well enough to pass judgment.
But you do know my wife, Doctor.
Yes, I do.
You're a cool customer, Doctor. You know, you would like the world to think that you're unfailingly calm, reasonable, unemotional. Would you care for some sympathy?
No, thank you.
But I saw your face when Raven left the room. You were blushing like a schoolgirl, Miles.
How's that? I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Please don't be in such a hurry. You may not attach a lot of importance to this little incident, but I can see how it might easily become inflated beyond all proportion.
If you mean, am I going to say anything about it to anyone? The answer is no.
Why, because it's beneath you to gossip?
You want the actual truth? I think it's beneath me to stand here talking about it with you.
Just indulge me a bit longer, Miles. You still haven't told me how you felt about what happened. You're human. You must have had some sort of reaction.
You want to know my reaction? All right, I'll tell you. First of all, I was surprised. Not that you were carrying on behind Margot's back. I could have expected that.
Why, because of certain things told you by your charming sister, April?
I was surprised to see Raven Swift here. After all, they've only been married a few months. For that matter, so have you.
Yes. All happy newlyweds. Just in different combinations.
Well, I've told you how I felt. I'll say good night.
Please don't be in such a hurry. You've only told me about one feeling you had. Surprise. Was there nothing else? Maybe a little disgust?
Something tells me you won't be happy till you hear that. All right, fine. Yes, I felt disgust. Not a little, a great deal. Satisfied?
But you meant what you said. You won't talk about this.
No, don't worry. I'm not going to tell Margot. Leave a bad taste in my mouth, just like the one I have now.
By the way, Doctor, what was this invitation I am not going to receive anymore?
Well, I was going to invite you to dinner with the four of us. My wife, myself, Mr. and Mrs. Swift. Hope you don't mind eating alone.
Well, there you are.
Yes, here I am in my hotel room getting ready for dinner. What I want to know is, where have you been?
I've been out looking for you. You disappeared. Where you been all afternoon?
I didn't disappear. I was just out walking around looking. I wanted to go walking around with my husband, but he couldn't wait to get to the golf course.
Come on now. You're the one who urged me to play today. All the way up here in the car, you kept telling me how good it was going to be for me.
I was just thinking of you, and I think you've been a little inconsiderate. This is our first day here, you know.
You know, sometimes I think I ought to tape record our conversations so I can play them back to you in self-defense. Now, as I recall, Sweetums, you said that the first day was the best time for me to play because that way I would relax more and enjoy the weekend.
Did I say that?
Your very words.
Well, doesn't make any difference.
No, it doesn't, huh?
I had a good day, and you had a good day.
Oh, I didn't have that good a day. Couldn't break 80
That's not bad.
for 9 holes.
Well, you'll do better tomorrow.
No, the rest of the weekend is yours. Take me.
Oh, wonderful.
I thought tomorrow we start off with a swim, then you can pick the activity. Want to spend a couple hours on a horse?
Listen, I still have bruises from the last time I rode a horse, and that was when I was 13.
I never noticed those. You always look like peaches and cream to me.
Hey, we have to go to dinner.
Dinner reminds me. Is it okay to accept an invitation from the Kavanaughs?
Kavanaugh?
The Kavanaughs, Miles and Nicole.
Oh, Nicole. She's so beautiful. I hate her. I thought television just made her look like that, but she looks better in person. And as for her husband...
Well, then you won't mind looking at all the pretty people while we eat, because I already said we'd go.
That's okay.
Matter of fact, there'll be 5 of us at dinner tonight. Nicole felt sorry for poor old Elliot Dorn being up here all by his lonesome, so she invited him too.
Well, that was very nice of her. The more the merrier.
Listen, you know, we have about 3/4 of an hour before we have to go down to dinner, so I thought you might like to mess around.
I'm so sorry
About what?
about what I said about you playing golf. I was just being very selfish.
Forget it.
No, it's true. I don't want to get in the way of you having a good time, and I want you to go play golf tomorrow. I want you to play.
I want to play now.
No. Come on. We have people waiting for us.
Guess I ought to take a shower, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Take a shower, Logan. Hey.
I promised Steve Guthrie I would stay inside till he got back from the hospital.
Right.
Well, do you think there's some hope for me, Daddy?
Well, I don't think you're a total optimist.
Did you talk to Brian?
I tried to, honey.
Well, I know you were in his room this afternoon. I saw you leaving. I wanted to ask you what happened, but you had those phone calls. Brian must have said something.
Oh, he said quite a few things. It just didn't add up to very much, that's all.
So he's still determined to leave?
Well, he told us at the beginning that he wasn't home to stay. I mean, he's never considered this place home. You know, he never lived in Monticello. He thinks of it as a strange town.
Well, I wonder if he even considered the house in Beverly Hills his home.
Oh, I'm sure he did. For a while, anyway.
Why did he leave it? Why did he just pick up and leave it in the house and the home and everything?
I don't know why. Wanderlust, I guess.
I just wish I could talk to him just for 10 minutes. I know I could make him stay.
I don't know, Paige. Maybe it's just as well.
Daddy, how can you say that?
No, I'm serious. Maybe we should leave well enough alone.
Well, I don't think it is well enough. I don't want to see Brian disappear for another 3 years, and I don't think his mother does either.
No, I'm sure that Nola wouldn't be happy if Brian just decided to leave, but my gosh, we've survived for 3 years without him.
Is that what you call it? And look what happened to us. I mean, I got mixed up with a gang of gun runners, and they seemed to be using all their guns on me.
Yeah, well, I doubt whether Brian's being here would have stopped you. You were in your idealism stage then, remember? Nothing was going to stop you making a fool of yourself.
What about what happened to Noah? I'm sorry, Daddy, but...
No, it's okay. I'm sure you're right. I'm sure that Brian had something to do with Noah's illness getting worse. But if it hadn't have been Brian, it would have been something else. Alcoholics always find some excuse for their behavior, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, I just think that it would be less of a pressure on the household if Brian wasn't here adding his hostility.
What hostility? Brian has the sweetest, kindest temperament. Maybe it would help things if I understood what happened, why he left in the first place.
Honey, you know what happened. He ran away to the sea. Fine old tradition, running away to the sea.
Yeah, but why? He never talked about going away to the sea or dreamt of faraway places or anything like that. I can't help thinking that something happened that made him decide he couldn't stay.
Well, I'm not a mind reader. I wasn't then, and I'm not now.
Well, I had one idea. I thought maybe, you, and he had some kind of quarrel.
What makes you think that?
Well, because there was a lot of tension between the two of you when I left. I thought about that after you had gone.
Honey, we didn't quarrel.
Well, then what happened? Why did he leave?
Excuse me?
Oh, Louise, yeah.
Miss Sachs, Detective Saxon is here to see you, Mr. Madison.
Oh, fine, good.
I didn't know she was supposed to come this evening.
Yes, she said that she had something she wanted to, just go ahead and show her.
Yes, sir.
Was there some special reason for your visit, Detective? Something happened?
Well, actually, I'm on my way to a dinner date, but I decided to stop by and tell you the news because of what happened to Calvin.
Please.
Thank you. I'm going to be the only person assigned as police liaison between you and the department now. So if you have anything that you'd like to discuss or have any ideas, please get in touch with me.
Of course.
Now, these are my two numbers. I can be reached most of the time. The first one is my work number, and the second one is my home phone number.
Fine. Thank you.
I really feel very badly about what happened to your partner.
Yes, of course. How is he, by the way?
Well, he's putting up a brave act, you know. I tell you, there's nothing more disgustingly macho than a cop in a hospital bed. But seriously, I think that he's hurting a lot more inside, especially if what they're saying is true.
What's that?
Well, the bullet did a lot of damage to his bones and his leg, and I don't think he's going to be able to walk without some kind of assistance.
Oh, God, how awful.
Well, you know, miracles happen every day. We can't give up hope.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, I think he's going to have to give up his career on the police force.
Oh, gosh, I'm really sorry to hear that, Deborah.
Yes. Well. Where is your bodyguard, Miss Madison?
Oh, please, call me Paige. Especially if you're going to be the policeman around here. Police woman. Police person? What?
Just call me Deborah.
Steve's out, actually, this evening. He's visiting your friend Calvin, as a matter of fact.
Oh, I see. Well, I guess I better be on my way. My dinner appointment is at 8:30.
Oh, well, you got a whole hour. Why don't you stay and have a drink? You're off duty, aren't you?
Yes, I am off duty, but I don't want to interrupt
Oh,
anything.
no, please. You're not interrupting. Just stay. I'll see you later at dinner, Dad.
All right.
Bye.
Uh-huh. Well, what can I get you?
Oh, and I don't feel comfortable about this. I don't think I should have turned an official call into a social visit.
Please, and really, I'd like you to stay. I just can't tell you how long it's been. Well, look, how about just a little short one here?
All right. Make it a scotch.
Okay, scotch it is.
A short one.
All right.
Do you know what
I can't understand. Why Paige's behavior should cause you to leave. It simply doesn't make sense, Brian.
It's not just that, Mom.
But it is. Owen told me that you were upset because of this policeman that's protecting her. That you think she made a wrong choice.
No, let me remind you that it was Dad's choice, not Paige's. He's the one that hired Steve Guthrie.
But you don't like him, is that it?
No, that's not it. Now, I think he's using Paige, yes. I think he's more concerned with police work than he is with bodyguard work. Mom, he took a terrible risk taking Paige to that restaurant just to trap one of those assassins.
But she's perfectly all right, Brian, isn't she?
Yes, at the moment.
Then why are you still acting this way? Why do you keep talking about leaving? You can't make all your decisions because of her. Why should you?
Mom, I know exactly what you're about to say. That Paige isn't really my sister, right?
No, that wasn't what I was going to say. I married her father, and that does make Paige your sister. But I'm still your mother. Well, maybe there's a point in life when that doesn't mean much to a child. But all the old ties, feelings,
Mom,
they don't
please,
count anymore.
Please.
Look, I need you, Brian. I really do. You're all I have left.
You're all I have left. Let me see. That would be Women on Fire, Columbia Pictures, 1962, right?
I'm sorry you think of me that way. But I can't feel any pain without it being written in a script.
Mom, I didn't mean that. I really didn't. I'm sorry. It was a dumb thing to say.
If you leave this house, there won't be anyone in it who really cares if I'm alive or dead. That's the simple truth.
Mom, I can't believe that. I can't believe that Dad would not...
Oh, your father doesn't love me anymore, Brian. Don't you think I know that? Don't you think a woman can tell in 1,000 different ways whether her husband loves her or cares for her or not?
No, Mom, now listen.
Do you think these separate bedrooms of ours are just for comfort? For convenience? He doesn't love me or want me or need me. He's found others, you know. Other women.
That can't be true.
Oh, he's very clever about it. He's the cleverest man in the world when he wants to be. But he needs women to admire him, to caress him, to make him remember who he is.
Mom, no, stop this. Now, you know that can't be true.
Look, I need you, Brian. Please stay. If you leave this house, this couldn't be a worse time for you to leave. And if you do, I might as well be dead. I'm sorry if that's from one of my old movies. Maybe it is, but it doesn't matter. It's true. It's true.
All right, Mom. I'll stay. I just can't promise for how long.
Nola, I was wondering if Brian was in there.
Yes. He's with me, Paige. Come in. He's just told me some wonderful news. He's staying. Brian is staying.
That's terrific, Brian.
Do you know something? I think I'm going to come down to dinner tonight. I feel like a family celebration.
Thank you. There you go, Miles. Now you drink that. It'll make you feel a lot better.
You know, honey, I think Raven's right. You look like you could use a little cheering up.
Yeah, if anybody's going to feel rotten around here, it should be me. I'm the one who can't drive a golf ball more than 80 yards without losing it in the woods.
I'm sorry, I guess I'm just brooding about some patient problems back home.
Well, don't. On vacation, you're supposed to leave your problems behind you.
That's right. Speaking of problems, what happened to Elliot? Wasn't he supposed to be here?
He said he was feeling a little bit tired and thought he'd go to bed early.
Changed his mind.
What do you mean?
There he is.
Oh, good
Elliot.
evening. I'm so sorry I'm a bit late.
Well, thank you very much for the drink, Owen.
Oh, please.
Well, I guess I better be going.
Oh, yes, of course, your dinner date. Tell me, is this person important in your life?
You want the absolute truth?
I can handle it if you can.
Well, I'll tell you that this person is a very amusing nuisance.
Really?
Yes. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. Actually, I haven't known him very long. I'm not really sure how much longer I can take him.
I wouldn't think you'd have any trouble taking your choice of men.
Be surprised. Excuse me.
Deborah, I just wanted to say one thing before you left. I'd like you to try and be patient with Paige. I know she's a problem. She always has been, I guess, in this whole gun-running thing. It's just her acting out some kind of fantasy, you know? See, no matter what she does or what trouble she gets into, I believe that she's basically just a gentle person. I suppose all fathers think that about their little girls, but I really do believe that Paige is kind and she's very warm. I don't know where she gets it from, but...
I think I know.
What's all this?
Oh, no, darling, this is Detective Saxon, you remember?
Oh, yes, I remember. The detective.
Yes. Well, I was just on my way out. Mr. Madison, good night.
Certainly, yes. Thank you for coming around.
Mrs. Madison?
I'll just see you through the door. One moment, Miss Saxon. Since you're an officer of the law, do me a favor. Next time, wear a uniform. Keep it buttoned.
Detective Saxon.
I am really amazed. When Mike and I moved into our house, it was weeks before we could use the kitchen.
Yeah, but you and Mike had a big advantage over April and me. I mean, we have so little furniture that we got moved in, unpacked, and decorated inside 3 days.
Oh.
Right, honey?
Oh, well, not quite.
Well, as you can see, you know, we're still half empty upstairs.
Looks to me like you have everything you need.
Well, Draper and I did buy some new furniture, and we're going to go out and get some more in a couple weeks, but I guess there's no point to that now.
Well, you don't want to rush. I know how it is when you're putting a new house together. You're anxious to see it completed.
By the time Nancy finished decorating our place, she was ready to redecorate.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I guess there's no point getting settled here right now. We could move any day.
Come on, April. I thought we agreed not to discuss this at dinner.
Oh, I forgot. Before you got here, Draper had asked me not to broach the topic of the new job in New York. Excuse me, I'll get it. Hello? Oh, yes, operator. Just a minute. Draper, it's New York.
Excuse me. Mr. Seward, how are you?
Well, fine, Draper, just fine. How are you and your wife?
Oh, we're fine, too. A little tense right now, I guess, but that's understandable.
Well, perhaps I can do something to relieve some of that tension. I've been speaking with my partners. Now, we're all agreed that this is worthwhile pursuing. The trouble is they're at a disadvantage. You see, I've had the opportunity to meet you in Monticello. Of course, they haven't.
Well, that's true enough.
Yes, but there's an easy solution. Draper, do you suppose that you and your wife could arrange a visit to New York in the next few days?
Well, I'd have to see how my week looks, Mr. Seward.
Yes. Well, of course, it is very short notice. You may very well be in the middle of a trial or something.
No, I don't plan on going into court for 2 or 3 weeks. My schedule seems pretty clear, but I'd have to talk to Mike first and, of course, my wife.
Well, yes, certainly, I understand. But if you could arrange it, even for a day or two, it'd be very much appreciated. Of course, well, we'll pick up all the expenses.
Thank you.
Well, you know, we're doing the courting, so we bring the flowers and the candy.
You talk it over, Draper, and you get back to me. But everyone is very anxious to meet you, and the sooner the better.
Yes, sir. I will get back to you tomorrow. Thanks again for calling. Talk to you soon. We all know what that was about.
No, maybe you should tell us.
That was Mr. Seward. He called and asked if we could come to New York next week to meet the other partners.
Well, that makes sense, of course. If they're considering you and you're considering them, you have to get to know each other.
Yes, and who knows? You might not want to live in a city as big as New York. That should be part of your decision anyway, shouldn't it?
Draper, I don't want to go to New York. You go.
Oh, April, now wait a minute.
No, look,
please.
you don't really need me there. I mean, it's you they want to look over. I mean, besides, I've got a job too, you know, and I mean, I can't just leave for a couple of days anytime I want.
Well, Mr. Seward invited both of us, and look, this is a dinner party, April. We shouldn't be discussing this now. Some other time.
April, you know what? I think that if Mike were going to investigate that job back in New York, I'd do everything I could to arrange my schedule so I could go with him. Because if ever there's a time that a wife should be with her husband, it's when somebody else is wooing him.
That's what Mr. Seward said, that they were doing the courting.
I'm sure you could accomplish everything in one day, Draper. That way it wouldn't interfere with either one of your schedules.
I don't care about schedules. Draper, look, I don't want to go to New York. I don't want to go for a couple of days. I don't even... Sorry. Excuse me, I think I hear the baby crying.
Well, I think these two-day weekends are absolutely archaic. I mean, no sooner do you get somewhere when you have to turn around and go right back.
Whatever happened to the talk about a 4-day work week?
Right.
Well, there's a political issue for you, Logan. Why don't you launch a campaign based on that?
Not running for that kind of office, Mr. Dorn.
Oh, please call me Elliot.
He's running for the same job he has now, district attorney, but he's not nominated yet.
Isn't the nominating convention next week?
That's right.
I think you ought to set your sights higher, Logan. You could be elected president on a platform like that. Don't you agree, Doctor?
I don't really know. It seems to me most doctors would be satisfied with a 6-day week.
Oh, I don't believe that for a second. Doctors love short weeks. That's why they always play golf on Wednesday now. Isn't that right, Nicole?
I don't know. I think the reason that doctors play golf on Wednesday is they know that their weekends are going to be interrupted almost every time.
But I'm sure Logan has more ambitions than that. Don't you?
Oh, my ambitions for right now are just to keep picking up a paycheck. Of course, if the party decides not to nominate me, I sure don't have to worry about short weekends, do I? Because I'll be home every day of the week.
You know, I think you should run for an office, Elliot. Thousands of women across the country would vote for those dimples alone.
Logan, would you consider you working privately?
Well, that's not what I want to do. I like the job I've got, but I sure have a heck of a lot of bosses right now.
Well, they'd be fools not to nominate you, Logan. They want a winner, don't they?
Bless you, sir.
Oh, I agree. There's no way you could lose, Logan, not if you make sure to keep your beautiful wife by your side.
You know, voters are the craziest people. Sometimes if your wife is too beautiful, they won't vote for you. Yeah, I figure you got so much going for you already. Why should they give you more?
You are so sweet. I don't really care whether he gets the nomination or not. He's the elected official in my life.
Nicely put.
Yes, you know, I used to be gung-ho about Logan's political career, but I guess I've matured about that.
Really? In what way?
Well, it doesn't matter to me so much anymore. The district attorney could go to a higher office, maybe even a higher office, and then we might have to move to Washington.
Oh, I see. You like it here, is that it?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do. Monticello has so many attractive men. Do you like it here?
Oh, yes, yes, I like it here very much. Especially since I've discovered Palace Park.
Elliot, it's really a shame that your wife couldn't join you this weekend.
That's right. Have you spoken to Margot today?
No, not yet. I'll give her a call after dinner. Tell her what a delightful evening I had. And how fortunate I was to be in such good company.
Would you care to see the menus?
No, thank you.
Yes, please.
Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but a detective in décolletage is just a little too peculiar for me.
I told you, darling. Deborah, Detective Saxon, was on her way out to dinner, and she just dropped by to talk about her assignment.
Well, I think she looked terrific. But I was glad that Brian wasn't here. Well, you know how sailors are.
Oh, Brian was doing something much more important. He was with his decrepit mother, telling her the good news.
Oh, I don't know how good that news is, Mom. Not everybody may be too happy to know I'm going to be hanging around.
Of course we're glad, Brian. Don't be silly.
He's just fishing for compliments. One of the bad habits he picked up from his mother. Although I don't seem to be catching any tonight. And here I spent hours choosing this dress.
I told you look beautiful, Nola.
Once more with feeling, darling. Never mind. I feel complimented enough just being with you all and having this lovely meal. No wine, Louise. You might as well know right now I am what they used to call a teetotaler. But you never even heard that word, Paige.
I've heard the word.
So have I. I'll be darned if I can remember what it means, though.
Well, it has something to do with total abstinence from alcohol, doesn't it?
That's right. It was part of anti-drinking crusades. Women's crusades, naturally. Now, the symbol was a great big letter T for total. And they became the teetotalers.
Well, we just learn something every day, don't we?
Shall I serve the dessert now, Mr. Madison?
Louise, it's proper to ask the mistress of the house.
Oh, yes, I'm very sorry.
That's all right. And the answer is yes, you may serve the dessert.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Where did you find that girl? I could swear she came straight out Central Casting.
As long as you get along with her, Nola.
Oh, she's quite nice, really. She still thinks of me as a movie star. Why shouldn't I like her?
Oh, I think I still think of you as one, too, Nola.
Paige, the only way I want you to think of me is as your mother. And Brian as your brother. If there's anything I loathe, it's the words stepmother and stepbrother.
Usually preceded by the word wicked.
Oh, I never heard of a wicked stepbrother.
Well, I know one adjective I'd love to see in front of your name. The working Brian Madison.
Hey, lady, trying to tell me I'm a bum?
No, I'm trying to tell you, I think it's time you got yourself a job. And now that you've decided to stay in Monticello...
Now, don't make that sound so damn permanent, huh?
Brian, you know you would be happier working. And any job you wanted to get outside of Monticello, you could just as soon get it here.
Of course, what Brian wanted to do was to go off to some continent and cover wars and so forth.
Oh, that would have been awful, Brian. You know how horribly dangerous that kind of thing is?
Never fear, my dear. I'm not exactly a qualified war correspondent. I was going to take a job lugging a qualified reporter's equipment, running errands for him.
Brian, I think you should let Daddy help you. He knows all sorts of important people.
In Hollywood, yes.
You know people in Monticello, too, right? Well, you know that woman. Margot Huntington. She owns the local TV station.
Isn't it amazing how you always know the women, Owen? Women television owners? women detectives.
Dad, you ever get the feeling we're being crowded out?
Look, couldn't you talk to her, Owen? Brian is so interested in television journalism. He could get wonderful experience.
Never mind, huh? I can see these people on my own.
Excuse me, but there is somebody here, Mrs. Madison.
It's all right, Louise. You can talk to my husband directly. I'm sure the visitor is for him.
Well, actually, it's that gentleman who stays here, Mr. Guthrie. I was wondering if you wanted me to set a place for him at the table.
Oh, that's all right, Louise. I had supper down at the hospital. I just want to let you know I'm back.
Oh, thank you, Steve.
Oh, Daddy, I think we should have dessert and coffee in the living room. How you doing?
Well, I think that sounds like a good idea, if the mistress of the house agrees.
I think it's a lovely idea. And I'll tell you what else I'd like tonight. I'd like to see some home movies.
Do you realize how long it's been since I've seen these films? I don't know if I want to look.
All right, I think we're ready now. Lights. Camera. Action. Owen Madison production. Hey. Well, there's the Madison White House.
I didn't even know why you called it that till I went to school and learned about President Madison.
When I first met you there, Paige, you had chocolate milk all over your mouth.
I like chocolate milk. Still too.
Oh, look, it's our swimming pool.
Right.
Very nice home. Is this out in Beverly Hills?
This house was, yes. But we also lived in Bel Air.
That's where Paige learned how to swim. Tried to.
Hey, look.
Uh-oh. Oh, it's my birthday. 18? Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, I look terrible.
No, you don't.
Oh,
The crowd.
those earrings.
Her finger into everything.
I like to eat. Shoot me.
Oh, no, that's a good shot of you, Mom. There. Yeah.
Just hated having her picture took.
I'm trying to... Oh, I didn't remember doing that. Jerry.
Jerry and who?
Craig.
Those
Craig?
two,
Yes.
they made the rounds of the whole party. Remember them?
Lovely smile, isn't it?
Or something like that.
Tonsils. Great tonsils.
Oh, my. Aren't you two being serious?
No, I'm just trying to make her feel good about being so old.
Oh, what I wouldn't give.
Wow.
Oh, good, Dad.
Himself.
She does have a smile, doesn't she? If nothing else.
Once a starlet, always a starlet. Look at that. She was something else, I tell you.
Look at her back in there.
Oh, the birthday girl.
Oh.
Happy birthday to you.
I'm gonna blow them all out, see?
Come on.
Come on.
night. That's right. Blow them up.
Be patient.
Oh, almost didn't
There
get
they
it.
go.
Oh, God. See, I did it. It's a big cake. Leave me alone.
There she goes. Right into the strawberry frenzy.
Finally get through that cake, Paige?
Oh, honestly, I think every time I turned around, you were pointing that camera at someone.
Yeah, it's an easy lesson in how to make a fool out of yourself.
Oh, people look so silly when they're not having the picture taken. Oh, and that's enough. I want to see the house in Bel Air.
All right.
Please.
Brian, can you get the lights, please? Brian.
I'll get him, Mr. Madison.
I guess, Brian doesn't like home movies either.
Can I offer you folks an after-dinner drink? It's on the house.
Wow, that's an offer we can't refuse. What do you have, Deborah?
I don't think I care for anything, thank you.
Come on, why don't you have a brandy or an amaretto?
I don't want anything.
Okay. I'll have brandy and I'll have her amaretto.
Right.
Oh, and second, I'll make that her cognac. I'll even make it a double. Oh, thank you. You know, for someone who looks as good as you do tonight, you are in one hell of a lousy mood. And don't say it's my fault either. I have been perfectly charming. I mean, just the right balance of serious conversation and lighthearted banter. I told you 3 of my best jokes. I threw in a little conversation about current events and even some office gossip. And I flattered the hell out of you, which I admit is very easy to do considering the way that you look tonight. But all I get from you are these sad eyes and conversation like clips. I'm sorry, I'm in a bad mood. My friend Calvin's in the hospital. I know. That wasn't very nice, was it? Well, I'll send him a get well card, okay? Oh, really, I got one all picked out. It says, "Dear Bozo, your doctor's a quack."
Cliff, doesn't anything ever touch you? You know, Calvin was hurt seriously. He may not ever be able to use his leg again. It means he's gonna have to give up his career in the force. Do you realize that? First it was Steve, now it's Calvin. Well, at least nobody's gonna be calling us the Three Musketeers anymore.
4. There were 4 musketeers. Everybody always forgets poor D'Artagnan. Listen, Scarlett, why don't you think of me as D'Artagnan, I mean, I may not be a cop, but I am an assistant district attorney, and who knows, after the nominating convention, I may be the DA. Hey, wait a minute. Do you know that the first 2 letters of D'Artagnan are DA?
You really think that they're gonna pick you over Logan?
He doesn't deserve that job, Scarlett. He took a bribe. Not only did he take that bribe from Wade Meacham, but he admitted to it in public. And believe me, that last thing is unforgivable.
At least it was honest.
Well, there are different kinds of honesty. Don't you know that?
There ought to be only one kind.
Sean, if she isn't a dreamer. Scarlett, so am I. Do you know what I dream about?
Here we are, sir.
Oh, well, thank you. My good man.
Well, Nicky, how does it feel standing in Mr. Dawn's shoes?
Well, they're a little tight, but I don't mind. I see you're taking a little cash, huh?
Any objections?
Hey, no, I just work here.
Oh, please note that Mr. Dawn told me that I could take anything I want whenever I wanted to, provided I kept track of it, and I am keeping track of every penny.
That's fine, Mr. Antoine. You do that. There's nothing smarter than keeping good records.
I just don't understand my son sometimes. Why didn't he tell us he was going out?
I don't know. Maybe he had a date.
I'm sure it wasn't. I just think he was uncomfortable about seeing the old movies and the old house and everything. Well, I'm sure you're not sorry it's over. Home movies, terribly boring.
No, on the contrary, I enjoyed it very much. Sort of helps me get to know the family.
Well, you got to know Brian a little bit better. He's still as unpredictable as ever.
It was going to be such a nice evening, all of us together.
Well, darling, are you sure you don't want to see the Bel Air house?
No, not now. It's different when we're all here. I think I'll just go to bed. I'm suddenly very tired. I'll maybe watch television or something.
All right, darling. Well, sleep well.
Easier said than done.
Well, what about you two? Join me in a nightcap?
No.
No,
No,
thank
thank
you, Mr. Maris.
Thought I was going to have some port. Louise proposed to pick up a bottle for me. Some nights nothing goes right.
frustrated days pass without sight.
I enjoyed the movies. I found it very interesting to see how you used to live.
Well, I'm glad there'll be some record of my life, however short it might be.
Come on, Paige, please. Will you knock that stuff off?
Can't help it, Steve. I mean, seeing my 18th birthday like that, it was... I couldn't help wondering whether or not I was going to have another one, or blow out any candles, or make a wish.
You will. I promise you. Don't forget, you've got me now as your bodyguard.
I guess tonight's as good a time as any.
So, when's your next birthday?
In about a month.
A month? Huh. In a month, we'll clear this whole thing up. I mean, maybe we'll catch your old friend Jed and the rest of the gang.
How will you know?
How will we know what?
How will you know you got the whole gang, since I don't even know how many there are?
Look, don't you worry about it. All we have to do is catch a couple of these guys alive. They should tell us everything we want to know.
We. You still call the police we.
We. Yeah, that's an old habit. Hard to break. I guess I was on the force for a long time.
7 years, huh? Some people wouldn't consider it too long, but 7 years in the life of a police officer is a while.
A lot can happen. A whole lifetime can happen in 24 hours on the force.
Time is a very funny thing. I mean, when I saw those movies of the old house in Beverly Hills, that seemed like a century ago.
How about your party? Was that a century ago?
No, not really.
Paige, how long after the party, before Brian took off?
Oh, about a week or 10 days, as a matter of fact. He just left a note for Mother and said he'd forward more information when he got a permanent address.
Ah, nobody knew that he wanted to join the Navy, right?
No, God, no. Nobody had any idea. He never made any mention of joining the military. He just said that he just read a lot of books on war and about battle and foreign correspondence. But that's what he was interested in, the correspondence, not the war.
So the next time you heard from Brian, he was Seaman Brian Madison.
Yes. Steve, I couldn't help but notice your face at the birthday party.
My face?
Yeah.
What was the matter with my face?
You were surprised that I kissed Brian?
Well, I thought he kissed you. I mean, you were the birthday girl, right?
Uh-huh. Well, it was hardly a brotherly kiss.
Well, I didn't even think about it. I mean, he's only your stepbrother.
Well, yes, but I think it was pretty obvious I had a crush on him. I did. I was at a very romantic period. And he was there. Of course, he wasn't the first. There were others. There was a couple of guys at Hollywood High. And then my English teacher at Davis, who looked like Humphrey Bogart and had a voice like Richard Burton.
So you and Brian knew each other since you were little kids, right?
Yeah. Our families knew each other. My dad worked with his dad at the studio. And then, as you know, with Hollywood, it's a very small town. Brian and I went to different schools. And next time I saw Brian, he was all grown up. And Daddy married Nola. Brian came to live with me in my house, and I was 16 at the time. Well, you know what they say about proximity.
Paige, why do you think Brian left the room when we were showing the movies?
Oh, I guess he got bored. He was embarrassed.
Can I get you anything else, Miss Madison?
Oh, yeah, Louise. I would really like some more wine. How about you, Steve?
No, I'll take some coffee. Help me keep awake.
Yeah, you've been up since the crack of dawn patrolling the grounds. Why don't you go to sleep?
Yeah, that's a very sensible idea, isn't it? Listen, before I forget, here I am. Got a little something for you. Just think of it as an early birthday present.
Come on, Scarlett. I just asked you for a nightcap. I didn't ask for a pair of pajamas.
That's very funny.
Oh, thank you.
Well, we had a nightcap at the Unicorn.
2 caps are better than 1?
All right, you won this time. 1 drink, okay? And you gotta go.
Of course.
I'm so tired.
Well, then why don't you just relax, take it easy? Why don't you go in there and take off your shoes, curl up those cute little pink toes of yours, and I'll do this myself, huh?
You know, you really know how to make yourself at home, don't you, Mr. Nelson?
It's one of my most endearing qualities. In fact, I love your apartment. A lot better than mine. I like you better than my roommate. Why don't we make a trade, huh?
What, my apartment? Roommate, what?
No, both of them. I'll give that apartment to him, and I'll move in here with you.
No, sorry, I snore.
That's great. We can do 2-part harmony. I take it you want the all-American part, huh? Steve Guthrie, blonde hair and blue eyes. Telling you, you should give us Black Irishmen a chance. Sure, we wouldn't have a lot of fun, Faith and Begorra. Those are my 2 sisters, Faith and Begorra.
Aren't you ever serious, Cliff?
Sure, I'm serious about my work. I'm serious about wanting to be district attorney. My dad said never be serious about women because they'll start inviting you over to meet their mothers.
You've never been really trapped, have you?
Nope.
Never engaged?
Well, I wouldn't mind engagement. I just don't like entanglement. See, unfortunately, Scarlett, most women aren't as sensible as you are about marriage. They don't realize that it's possible to have all that fun without any of the drawbacks.
Back off, babyface.
Not interested in fun?
No.
More interested in Steve.
Why do you keep talking about him?
Because you won't talk about him. You don't talk about anything. How are we supposed to have a deep and meaningful relationship when you won't talk about yourself?
Well, I thought your most favorite subject was yourself.
It used to be. But lately I've been more interested in you. In fact, I've done a little research and I dug up some old newspaper files on you.
What files?
No, actually, not you. On your father, Tony Saxon.
Why did you do that?
Because I want to get some insight into your personality. Now, from what I understand, they said you were really crazy about him, even though he was obviously quite a crook.
He was a politician.
Yeah, sure. How could a guy so despicable have a daughter as wonderful as you? You know, I bet you could write a good bestseller about him.
I want to talk about this, Cliff.
What is this? You don't want to talk about this? You want to talk about Steve?
I don't want to talk about anything. I want you to get the hell out of my house right now.
Hey, calm down now. Take it easy. Look, I haven't even finished my
You have
drink.
the ability of going too far, Cliff.
Scarlett, I think you're just getting away with this.
Hi, Daddy.
Hey, you all right?
Sure. I just thought I'd finish my wine before I finish climbing the stairs.
Oh, boy. Sorry about tonight.
Sorry about what?
Oh, I'm just sorry I let Nola talk me into showing those films. I had no idea what trouble it was going to cause.
What trouble?
I just didn't realize that that birthday party was in it. I would never have shown it if I did.
Well, why not? It was one of your better films. Camera didn't even wobble at all. Much.
You know what I mean. And it obviously upset Brian, and that upset Nola, and...
Now you're upset. Why should you be? I never hid my feelings towards Brian. I didn't expect him to record it for posterity, but I'm not upset.
Honey, come on, you were just a kid. It was just a schoolgirl crush. You know that.
Whatever you say, Daddy. Oh, where did Brian go?
Oh, he's just upstairs in his room. I looked in, he was reading.
Hmm.
Noah was in her room watching TV.
Well, since the entire household has retired, I think I will join them.
Hey, Paige, I just... Oh. No. Never mind.
Okay. Mwah.
Good night, you.
Good night. Sure.
Sleep well.
Yep.
of sex. Police number. Home number.
Hello?
Deborah, it's Owen Madison. How was your dinner date?
Oh, fine. Well, I just got rid of him. I shouldn't say that, I guess. It was fine. Owen, is everything all right?
Oh, everything's fine. Fine. No, I'm not calling you to report any trouble. I'm just calling to talk to you for a few minutes about the case and so forth.
I see.
Yeah, we didn't have much time to talk about it earlier. You had to rush off on your date.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have come by, but I was off duty. I had some time to kill. If you would like to come over to headquarters tomorrow, it's fine with me. If you have any questions you'd like to discuss.
No, I don't have any questions exactly. I just thought perhaps we might exchange some ideas about the case. I really don't have any more information than you do right now, but Paige always can say something that might be helpful.
Has she said anything?
No, nothing in particular.
Oh, I just thought maybe you and I might exchange some theories about the case, about the gun runners, about her friend Tobias.
Yes. Well, if you'd like to come over to headquarters tomorrow, I'll be there all day.
Oh, I tell you, I just don't relish the idea of coming down to police headquarters. I just, it occurred to me that maybe we could talk about it over dinner.
Dinner?
Well, not here. Although, of course, we'd love to have you come over sometime. But I was thinking perhaps, in a restaurant.
I see.
That is, if you're free, say, tomorrow evening. Are you off duty?
Yes, I'm off duty. And I guess I am free.
Well, that's fine. That's just fine.
Look, April, if the idea of going to New York makes you so unhappy, you don't have to go with me.
No. No, Draper, I was wrong to say what I did. Of course, I'll go to New York with you. It's just a little overexcited.
No, you had an honest gut reaction. The idea of leaving Monticello for New York makes you sick to your stomach.
Yeah, well, that's not the only thing that hurts.
Yeah, I'm upset myself. That phone call certainly ruined dinner.
Well, no, I couldn't taste anything.
Well, the food was good, believe me. I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm sure Mike and Nancy did, too.
Yeah, well, what they didn't enjoy was that we fought through the whole meal.
We didn't fight throughout the meal, believe me. You said you weren't going to say another word. After the phone call, you didn't.
Draper, I acted abominably, and I know it. And I am very ashamed of myself. And of course I will go to New York with you. Nancy was right. If it were Mike who was invited to go to meet the other members of that law firm, she would make sure that she would go no matter if she had a job or not.
It's not necessary, April, believe me. They just want to take a fast look at me. Hell, they may not even want me.
That's not true. Draper, they're going to take one look at you. They're going to hear you speak. And they're going to know immediately that you are perfect for the job. Don't you understand that's what scares me?
What's that supposed to mean? That you want them to hate me?
No! No, I want them to know that it's wrong to tear a family away from a home, a brand new home, just for a title and a few extra dollars.
A few extra dollars? April, don't you realize that the minute I get my first paycheck with them, I will have doubled my income?
What difference does that make, Draper? It costs twice as much to live in New York.
No, it doesn't, April. I looked at the cost of living index. Monticello ranks right up there with L.A., Chicago, New York, all of them.
Draper, I looked at it too, and it does cost a lot more money to rent an apartment or buy a house. Who wants to live in one of those dirty, dingy little apartments with a roaring elevated train going by
April, that's an antiquated view of New York. The elevated trains were torn down years
Well,
ago.
it's still dirty. And it's not safe.
And it's alive and it's exciting with thousands of wonderful restaurants and live theater. You're going to love it, April. It'll be strange at first, but you'll get used to it. And April, Monticello's only a couple of hours away by plane. April, I may never have another job offer like this again as long as I live. In time, people are going to forget all about Winter Austin. What's going to happen to me then? Well, what'll I be? Just another small-town attorney scrounging around for a client. I couldn't stand that, April.
Draper, I want you to be happy. I don't want to stand in your way.
Oh, you couldn't stand in my way, no matter what you did. And as far as being happy, it's just not my career that makes me happy. It's you, it's my marriage. And when you're miserable, I'm miserable. It's as simple as that. The last thing I ever want to do is make any kind of decision that's going to hurt our marriage. So, when we go to New York, if they offer me the job, you decide that, well, you just can't stand it there, that you would hate living there, and you ask me not to accept the job, I'll turn it down.
Draper, do you mean that?
Yeah. But you gotta promise me something. That you're not going to make up your mind beforehand, that you won't make any decision until you think about what this means to me. To us. Not just for now, April, but for all of our years together. I know it's a difficult decision. It's a lot of me to ask of you, April. But just think. I mean, see how it feels.
I'll try. I'll promise you that. I'll try.
Oh, you know, I love you so much. I mean, you're on my mind constantly, regardless of what I'm doing. And the last thing I would ever do is hurt you.
I know that. Oh, I love you. And whatever made me think that love was simple.
Still up.
Come on in, Daddy.
Just want to make sure you were all right. You looked a little troubled when I said goodnight to you.
Isn't that the way I normally look these days?
Well, I certainly wouldn't blame you if you did.
I guess those home movies upset me a little bit more than I thought. Seeing everybody together and happier.
Well, I tell you, I think those home movies are an invention of the devil. I really do. They remind us of who we used to be. I think we ought to burn every damn reel and purge ourselves of the past.
Well, then you do remember, don't you? I mean, how happier Brian was.
Yeah. So were you too, honey.
Daddy, you are going to get Brian that job in Monticello. You said you would.
Oh, honey, I don't have any influence in Monticello.
Yes, you do. You know, Margot Huntington, and she owns her own TV station. She could help.
It's the first time I've ever heard you and Noel agree on the same thing.
Daddy, you gotta do something. Promise me you will.
Honey, I think it's a mistake. Now, you know how I feel. I just think that Brian is going to be a lot better off if he's on his own. You gotta let go. Paige, you gotta let go of people sooner or later.
I don't want to let go.
I know you do. But I'm telling you, couldn't you tell from Brian's reaction? He just doesn't want to be part of this family.
Daddy, you know what I think sometimes?
What's that?
Sometimes I think you don't want Brian to be part of the family. I really think you resent him for some reason.
That's just not true.
Well, then how come you haven't looked happy since he came back home? And how come you looked so relieved when he said he was leaving?
Paige, I gave you my reason.
No. You gave me some vague explanation about how he upset the house and upset Nola. Well, did you see Nola at dinner tonight? Did you ever see her look so happy? It was all because her son said he was going to stay.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing. No matter what Brian does, it's not going to be my decision, or Nola's, or yours, for that matter. I tell you, that boy has a mind of his own.
I know. And I also know he's not a boy.
Well, that's true. I guess it's those home movies. Made me feel like I was young again. I used to think of Brian as a boy. And you as my little girl.
You're still young, Daddy.
Oh.
Don't you remember those girls at college? They wouldn't believe you were my father. They thought you were some slightly older boyfriend.
How about that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you were happy in those days, too, weren't you?
Yeah, well, I guess I better get out of here and let you sleep, huh?
I can't keep my eyes open. I mean, that wine really knocked me out. Okay. Mwah.
Sleep well now.
Good night.
Oh, Louise. Those for Paige?
Yes, sir.
She's just getting to sleep now. Bring them in the morning.
Yes, sir. You can't wait until the morning.
Who is it? Oh.
Louise, is Paige,
Mr. Bryan, Miss Page is just about to fall asleep.
Oh, I see.
Brian? Oh, Brian, come in. Please.
Excuse me.
Hi.
I didn't know you'd gone to bed. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Stay. I was gonna knock on your door, but I figured you'd be sleeping.
Hardly. I was awake thinking about what a fool I made out of myself downstairs. Walking out of Dad's home movies like that. I guess I just couldn't stand the sight of those carefree childhood days. Paige, look, this is ridiculous. It's late. You're tired. I'll see you.
No, Brian. I want you to stay. I am very glad you came to see me.
I just don't know what made Dad want to show those damn movies anyway.
It was your mother's idea, remember? I don't think it was such a bad idea. I kind of liked seeing those old days when we used to be a happy family.
It's like rubbing our noses in it. That's what's wrong with it.
No, I know what scene really affected you, Brian. It was that birthday scene.
Gee, Paige, I don't really remember that scene. I must have left before it came out.
Oh, Brian, I know exactly when you left.
Yeah. I guess running away gets to be a habit.
Yeah. Yeah, you left right after that party. You left the house for good. And I still don't know why you left.
Oh, now I told you why 1,000 times. I just got itchy feet, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, I had them way before your 18th birthday. I just didn't have the guts to tell you, that's all.
I thought you always told me how you felt about everything.
I know, I just couldn't tell you about this, Paige. I had a need to leave, to get away, do something on my own, and I knew that you'd be just as upset as Mom. So I did the right thing, and I kept my mouth shut. At least I had the decency to wait till your birthday, huh?
Wasn't a very nice present, Brian.
I know. I don't suppose you still have my present. I haven't seen it since I've been back.
The necklace? I still have the necklace.
You do?
But, after you had left so suddenly, I, took it off and put it in a drawer, and, I haven't worn it since. I told myself that I wouldn't put it on until I was sure you were back.
I am back.
Yeah. But, I don't know, maybe I'm superstitious. But I said I wouldn't wear it until I knew you were here, and I wore it the night before you left.
Yeah, I remember.
You do?
Sure.
I didn't think you remembered anything about that night. You seemed so distracted. I was realizing later that your mind was already 1,000,000 miles away on the high seas.
Paige, I didn't see a drop of ocean water until about 6 months after my enlistment.
Anyway, I won't wear it because I'm afraid I'll wake up and you'll be gone.
No. Didn't you hear Mom's announcement at the dinner table? Brian will be staying in Monticello for as long as possible.
See? See, you make it sound so indefinite.
No, I'm just trying to be realistic, that's all.
Mm-hmm, about your career, right?
Sure.
Well, you could just as soon have that job at the studio here in Monticello.
There is no job. Look, just because Dad knows this Margot Huntington, whatever, that doesn't mean that she has a job available, and if there is one available, that doesn't mean that I'm qualified.
Oh, you're gonna try, aren't you? Please?
I suppose I have to. I promised Mom.
Is that the only reason why you're going to stay in Monticello, try and get a job here? It's because you promised your mother?
No. It's also for you.
Do you mean that?
Of course. It's because of what's been happening to you, Paige. All these damned assassination attempts. I couldn't very well leave knowing you're in danger.
Is that all?
Is that enough?
Yes. I think I'll find that necklace.
Draper, you awake?
No, I'm talking in my sleep.
Sorry.
April, you've been punching that pillow all night. If you're not happy with it, get another one.
Sorry, I can't go to sleep. I just can't turn my mind off.
Oh, I know where your mind is. New York City.
No, you're wrong. It's not. I'm thinking about my mother.
Your mother?
Yeah, I'm just trying to visualize what I'm going to do when I go in and ask her for a couple of days off to go to New York with
Yeah,
you.
I can imagine what she's going to say.
Well, I can't.
She's not going to be too pleased. Especially when she finds out the reason for the trip.
No, she's not going to be happy at all.
She'll let you go, April. I mean, it's only one day.
I know it's only one day, but it could lead to leaving Monticello forever.
Oh, April, let's go to sleep, huh?
Draper, look. Draper, look. It's not just that I'm her daughter. I am her new assistant, and she's invested a lot of time and energy in teaching me.
April, you've only been working there for 2 weeks.
I know. Oh, but Draper, I've enjoyed it so much. I never knew how satisfying a job could be, even though I know you hate it.
I don't hate you working as much as I hate the long hours you put in every day.
Can I ask you a question?
What?
Come on, don't be angry. Look, I just wanted to ask you if... Well, had it occurred to you that maybe taking this job in New York would take me away from Margot forever?
Look, what's Margot got to do with this? I didn't go to New York looking for a job, April. They came here to Monticello.
I know, just the same. When they mentioned relocation, didn't it occur to you that maybe if we went to New York, all your problems with Margot would be solved?
My first thoughts were for our future, April. And how much better it would be if my career went someplace.
Your career going someplace. What about... Draper, don't you see? I may never get an opportunity like this again.
That's silly, April. New York is the biggest television production center in the world. They've got offices for every major network. They have lots of TV studios, hundreds of production houses.
Yeah, and everyone is just dying to hire me.
April, we don't even know if Seward wants to hire me. Hey, when you were punching that pillow, did you wish it was I?
Did I wish it was I? No. No, I didn't wish it was you.
Oh, honey, you know I love you so much. I hate to do this sort of thing. I hate to think I'm making you unhappy. I'd do anything for you. I love you more than anything. More than any career. More than money. I even love you more than cherry pie. And you know how much I love cherry pie.
I know. Oh, Draper, I'm sorry. I know I've just been foolish. You're right. And I know how much this job means to you and your career. And I know you'd never forgive me if I stood in your way. So if Seward, Paxton, and Whiteside want you, well, then I'll be happy for you. I'll try. And I'll do anything I have to do to make it work. Okay? Draper.
Oh, here it is.
I call this a silliest. I don't want to eat anything right now. It's almost midnight.
Good. Then we'll have a midnight supper. Oh, come on, honey. You hardly had anything to eat for dinner. And what you did order, you hardly touched.
Yeah, well, I admit my appetite wasn't what it should have been. And it vanished the minute I saw Elliot.
So Elliot do what?
To tell you the truth, I was kind of hoping he would not join our little dinner party.
Well, why wouldn't he? I mean, you did invite him, didn't you? You went to his room to ask him in person.
Well, he was very uncertain about accepting.
I know it's bothering you, and it doesn't have anything to do with Elliot. It's Raven, the way she was carrying on. Am I right?
Well, I've always known she was a flirtatious type. I just expected her to give up her bad habits with her second marriage.
Do you really think a Raven Swift is ever going to change? Lady's going to be batting her eyelashes at the Undertaker.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I just wish she'd do her batting practice somewhere else. It made me very uncomfortable, mostly for Logan.
You're right about that. Notice the way he was retreating into his shell during dinner. But you know, I don't think he thought it was unusual to see Raven carrying on like that. He's probably used to it by now.
Maybe so.
And also, I think he had something else on his mind. The nominating convention's next week. He'd hate to lose that job as district attorney.
Yeah, I'm sure he would.
Hey! What strawberries and whipped cream. I didn't have any dessert. I want some now. Come on. What would you like?
Oh, just give me something simple like an English muffin and some coffee.
Whatever you say, Doc. Hey, don't be so gloomy. Raven is Logan's problem, and she can take care of him very well.
Actually, I wasn't thinking about Raven. I was thinking about Margot.
Margot? Why Margot?
Well, just wondering what she was doing in her lonely hotel room.
Huh. Well, she's probably trying to reach room service before it closes.
Go ahead and do it.
Thank you. Hello, room service. Yeah, you're still serving.
I can't wait to see you again.
I like some strawberries and whipped cream. This is your order. And an English muffin and some coffee. Oh, okay, we'll do this one. And yeah, that was coffee. Thank you. Miles? Miles.
What?
Did you hear what I said?
No, as a matter of fact, I didn't. What'd you say?
I said that they didn't have any English muffins, but I ordered you some toast.
Oh,
Butter
that's-
on the side.
That's fine. That's fine.
Hey.
What?
Is there something you're not telling me about tonight?
Why would you ask that?
Well, for one thing, when you came back from seeing Elliot, you were acting very strange. And you had that kind of cloudy look you get when you're nervous or worried about something at the hospital.
I just told you, he was very unpleasant, and I was just as happy when he said he intended to go to bed early.
But he showed up anyway.
Yes, he showed up. The rest is history.
If you ask me, the rest is mystery. Still feel you're holding something back from me.
Who, me? You know I always tell you everything.
I don't know anything of the kind.
Come here.
Oh, no.
So, it sounds like a pretty fair night. Had any problems in the kitchen?
Smooth as silk. I think Mr. Antoine wanted to make sure if there were any problems tonight, they wouldn't be his fault.
Tell me, how are you enjoying your first night as maitre d'?
I'll tell you one thing. People treat someone in a monkey suit a lot nicer than they do someone in a bartender's jacket.
Well, that's one of the ironies of life, Mickey. How's the substitute working out?
Well, I haven't heard any complaints.
Well, it sounds like I'm not missed at all.
Well, a couple of people did ask for you. Well, more than a couple. All of them females.
Now that makes me feel much better.
The only sour note around here was Mr. Antoine.
Well, that's right. Antoine, of course, thinks he should have been out front greeting the guests. In fact, he would like to be out there all at the time.
Yeah, well, he's not too happy tonight, I'm afraid, but that didn't stop him from making a trip to the cash register.
He made another withdrawal?
Oh, yes, he took out $100, just like you suggested. And, just like you suggested, he put it down in his little book.
Wonderful. I want Antoine to have all the funds he needs and to keep on keeping those nice, clean records.
He's filling up that book awfully fast.
Great. Pretty soon we'll throw that book at him.
Oh, am I looking forward to that?
So am I, Mickey, so am I. Well, your good report has certainly brightened my stay at Palace Park.
Oh, how's it going, by the way? You having a good time?
I'm having a wonderful time.
I thought you might get lonely, the wife not being there and all that.
Yes, that's true, Mickey, but I did manage to find some good company.
Your timing is lousy, that's all. I mean, I understand. Believe me, I understand that flirting is like breathing to you, but in a public place, when we're out with another couple and it's, what, a week before they decide whether or not I'm fit to hold office?
There, that's what really bothers you, doesn't it? The fact that you may not be nominated.
Well, it used to be all that you cared about. What's the matter? You don't give a damn anymore?
Now, wait a minute. You're not being fair. I'm the one who got you out of that mess the last time. I'm the one who went to Geraldine.
All right.
I'm the one that told her to go to the party bosses so you wouldn't get kicked out after you were making a fool out of yourself.
All right. Forget about the nomination. I haven't got a snowball's chance, and it's probably decided anyway,
Stop
okay?
being so negative.
I'll tell you what really bothers me, that you carried on like that in front of Miles and Nicole. Couldn't you see that you were embarrassing the hell out of them?
I was doing no such thing. I think maybe you were the one who was embarrassed. As a matter of fact, it looked to me like you were just plain bored.
Well, what did you expect me to do with you coming on to Elliot like that right under my nose? What am I supposed to do, huh?
Well, why didn't you punch him in the nose?
Oh, yeah. You'd have liked that, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would have loved it.
I don't understand you. You astonish me. You're a throwback, an anachronism. You don't belong in this time and place. No, that's it. You should have been born in the antebellum South, all hoop skirts and crinolines and fans, or Victorian England, where you could have been a professional flirt.
Well, maybe there's a job still open.
Oh, I quit. I give up.
Logan, I'm sorry, please. Please don't be angry with me, please. Oh, baby, I didn't mean to flirt like that. It's just that Elliot was all alone, and he's so handsome.
And you're still a newlywed, right?
Well, no. No, really, I don't feel like one. Here I have a 6-month-old baby. I have a husband who's constantly worried about his job. I feel like an old married woman.
Oh, you're practically a grandmother. I'd say senility's just around the corner.
Logan, look at me. I'm young.
All right, you're young. So what?
So it's not gonna last. I'm getting old, and that scares me.
Well, Raven, everybody gets old. There must be something good about it.
No, not for me. It terrifies me. The whole idea does. I mean, you don't have to worry. You're a man. Men don't have to worry about that kind of a thing. See, unless a woman is young, then nobody wants her.
Well, that's one terrific oversimplification you got there.
No, look it. I'm a very simple person. See, nobody understands me. They all think I'm really complicated, but I'm not. I'm very simple because all I want is somebody to love me forever and ever. And every time I look at that, then I know it can't be.
Oh, come on now, cut it out. That's silly.
Logan, if nobody wants me, then I cease to exist.
I want you. I always will.
Brian, I don't know where it is. I know I put it in some drawer.
Paige, why don't you forget about it? It's the middle of the night.
I don't want to forget about it. It was much too important to me to forget about. Oh,
Paige, look, you can't go to bed until you clean this stuff up and find it, so...
yeah.
Look, you obviously forgot where you hid it,
I
right?
didn't forget. It was much too important. I put it in a drawer.
Well, where is it?
All the drawers were emptied when we moved from Los Angeles.
Now you're making sense.
So, of course, it's in the most obvious place, which is the,
Which is where?
the jewelry box, right?
Brilliant.
Where is the jewelry box?
You know. Look, Paige, this really isn't that important, you know?
It is. It's the only memento I have of you, and I want to find it. Oh. Oh, here it is. Oh, terrific.
Terrific. Right, now you can go to bed.
No. I haven't had it on in 3 years, and now that I'm sure you're not leaving,
I'm positive I'm not leaving.
then I want to put it on. Please help me.
Now, all right, Miss Madison, but I'm not sure it exactly goes with your
okay.
ensemble.
It's okay. You got it?
Not yet.
Oh, I want to see what it looks like. Oh, it's beautiful.
There.
Oh, Brian, it's just beautiful. It looks exactly the way I always thought it would. Oh, thank you.
Paige, no. Don't do this.